For my project, I decided to research corporate social responsibility for Imperial Oil. Imperial Oil being one of Canada's largest and most important oil and gas industries, as well as one of Canada's largest corporations in general. Their current activities implementing corporate social responsibility, as quoted by the chairman, our long-term business success depends on our ability to provide energy responsibly. We believe we can accomplish this goal by integrating environmental protection, economic growth, and social advancement into all aspects of our business planning. Further quoting, for Imperial, corporate citizenship means meeting the growing demands for energy in an economically, environmentally, and socially responsible manner. This defines our role as a partner in the community and is integral to our business strategy. Imperial Oil, as stated on their website, follows 6 rules to enforce their CSR: pursuing high standards of corporate governance, creating safe, healthy, and supportive workplaces, minimizing our impact on the environment, managing the risk of climate change, contributing to a strong and vibrant economy, and working with communities to address local needs and creating long-term benefits. Another quote by the chairman: how we achieve our business results is as important as the results themselves. Our approach is to interlink our business and citizenship objectives because responsible development and maintaining a positive influence in the communities where we operate are essential to our long-term business success. Some projects that Imperial Oil Company has been involved in are, first of all, they're innovating their methods of oil sands extraction, and oil sands extraction is where they extract oil from thick sands, clay, and rock. They are investing in more efficient and cleaner ways of doing so, and this will be benefiting not only the amount of energy consumption required per barrel of oil, which will result in greater barrel production, benefiting society in the sense that there will be more oil available to the public, but it would benefit the environment as well with the innovations to the cleanliness. The projects that they're taking part in are the Imperial Oil Sands project. It is a project taken on by the Imperial Oil Company where it will become the largest open pit mining operation in Canada, taking into account these innovations, as well as the Athabasca project, where Imperial Oil owns plenty of undeveloped land in the Athabasca region of Alberta. There's plenty of oil expected to be on premises, and they will begin excavating these soon, implementing these new techniques as well. Branching off into subcategories of corporate social responsibility, starting off with ethics. First of all, the policy of Imperial Oil with ethics is to comply with all the governmental laws, rules, and regulations applicable to their business and many others, which include good pay for what the workers are doing, which could vary between one another, no discrimination at all on premises, following good safety measures to ensure everybody's safety, and certain benefits. However, stating that, they do not simply stop at the bare minimum. They take into account all the different cultures which could be working for them. Secondly, they stated that they do not only care about obtaining what they need, but how they obtained it as well, ensuring that it was done with proper procedure to maintain the integrity of their business. Moving on to community engagement, Imperial Oil, being such a big corporation, comes across all sorts of communities, whatever their size. Imperial Oil claims to speak with members of surrounding communities to maintain their image, which states that they care what people think of them and how they do things. The best example I came across was their involvement with various Aboriginal cultures and communities, taking into account that their needs are important as well. Imperial Oil takes into account how sacred and important the land is to these Aboriginals near where they perform their excavations, asking them for their perspective and ideas on the matter, instead of just selfishly and carelessly jumping into the land to drill for their own needs and profit. With the Aboriginals and various communities throughout Canada's opinions in mind, they keep everyone satisfied with their projects. Thirdly, safety. Imperial Oil stresses that they maintain the safety of not only their workers, but the safety of the community as well. For the safety of their workers, they have one main goal: keep their people safe. They have established a number of ways of doing so, which include the training of their employees to identify hazardous situations and help out peers in need. They make sure there are people on site that follow the following rules: improving risk identification and management before work begins at job sites, enhanced short service work programs, which require inexperienced workers to be mentored by more seasoned individuals, upgraded programs for screening contractor supervisors, and further development of behavior-based safety programs. And finally, their investment within the community. As a Canadian company, Imperial Oil feels obliged to give back to the Canadian community. To this day, they have donated over $50 million to various charities throughout Canada, which include helping Canadian communities and donating to charities to help improve our Canadian way of life. Several factors that I thought were out of their reach as a corporation for CSR were that Imperial Oil couldn't really do anything about helping out and donating to a greater variety of countries than just Canada, because they already have their hands full with helping out Canadian communities, and this would mean that many other countries would seek their help as well. With this being said, they have a limit to how much they can even help Canadian communities, because after all, they still need to make a profit. Here's a graph of the company's CSR ratings. First of all, the blue line being the community involvement, the yellow line being employee engagement, green dotted line environment engagement, and black dotted line governance, and of course the red solid line being the overall ratings. It seems to be in the dead middle throughout. This is a good thing because the company seems to be balancing all of these aspects equally. Moving on to the articles, the first one is about environmental conservation and protection. Imperial Oil finds the environment very important to take care of and is becoming increasingly important for Canadians, in turn becoming important for them as they are a member of our community. They're supporting a range of environmental issues, where in 2006, roughly 5% of the Imperial Oil Foundation's funding budget was devoted to environmental projects. The goal now is to increase that to more than 20% with an annual average expenditure of $1.4 million. Imperial Oil has also committed $400,000 to Ducks Unlimited Canada to help the non-profit organization study the wetlands around the company's heavy oil recovery operations near Cold Lake, Alberta. Finally, Imperial is also contributing to protection of wildlife species throughout its community investments, where for more than 2 decades the company has helped to sponsor the Owl Foundation, which is a non-profit organization which rehabilitates injured Canadian owls for release back into the wild. The second article, again in summary, is about their team up with United Way Centraid, which is a non-profit organization located in more than 120 Canadian communities. They play a crucial role in improving the lives of Canadians and are raising funds to help people in need in the community. The money collected is used to help children and youth, senior citizens in need, families and abused women, disabled and homeless people, as well as newcomers to Canada. Imperial Oil has already contributed more than $3.7 million to United Way Centraid. They stated that generosity and goodwill towards the communities we live in and work in is a time-honored tradition for employees and retirees of Imperial. Imperial Oil's relationship with their stakeholders is as follows. Imperial engages with a broad range of stakeholders, including governments, regulators, industry, local residents, shareholders, customers, suppliers, employees, non-governmental organizations, as just stated, and Aboriginal groups. First of all, inclusion. We will provide an opportunity for stakeholders to be meaningfully involved in issues that affect them. Secondly, respect. We will work to develop and maintain constructive relationships through positive interactions based on mutual respect, trust, and openness. Thirdly, timeliness. We will identify and involve stakeholders early in the process and provide timely opportunities for participation in order to understand expectations, interests, and concerns. Fourth, responsiveness. We will encourage stakeholders' input to understand how they wish to be consulted. We will listen to stakeholder needs and interests and will strive to remain flexible and respond promptly. And last, accountability. We will document agreements made with stakeholders to ensure commitments are met. In conclusion, my personal opinion on how Imperial Oil is handling things and implementing their corporate social responsibility is, after conducting all my research and finding out much more about how Imperial Oil does these, I personally think that what Imperial Oil is doing is unbelievable. They are running their business in such a way that it seems as if they are benefiting everybody else in the community just as much as they are benefiting themselves with profit. This includes their outlook on environmental care and preservation towards where they are conducting their projects, as mentioned in the article, where they make donations to ensure the well-being of the environment in which they are working. Furthermore, as stated in the second article, I think it's amazing how Imperial Oil cares so deeply about members of the surrounding community, proving that they don't only benefit their workers, but they have been donating for years and reached sums of over $15 million towards donations to benefit the Canadian community, simply because they are rich enough and they can. Imperial Oil has proved to me to being selfless. If any corporation is drilling oil in Canada, I'm glad to see it's a company that gives so much back to the community.